Lawson
Nice.
stop and pop in the paint, and so the extra possessions for the Tigers are able to cash in on.
Well, they know where the soft spots are in that zone, and they're attacking it right there in the middle. That time a beautiful little pull-up one-hander by Lawson.
Brown redirecting traffic. Fuller, the corner three is good.
Well, you talked about the shooting being better, Jordan, and Washington is coming out shooting the ball a lot better here tonight versus Texas Southern. P.J. Fuller, a really good athlete. I think he's best in transition, but he showed us just now he can knock down a three ball as well.
Second three of the game for the Huskies. They are just down 1 point at this moment. So for 12 minutes left, cross-court pass. Henry, he'll line up a three. That's off. Roberts can't get the rebound, but then whistled for the foul as he collides with Carl Nicholas.
I tell you what, Jordan, Texas Southern is really scrappy. They're attacking offensive glass extremely hard. They're not really big in the backcourt, but their guys are aggressive hitting the glass. They just at this point seem to be hungrier than Washington, going after the loose ball rebounds.
And this is a Texas Southern team 0-2. They felt like they could have had that win on the road at St. Mary's, lost by 9 points. And a team like Texas Southern, you're coming and you're punching above your weight class in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Effort's one area you know you can't fall short in, and that's something that Coach Johnny Jones preaches. And that's why it's such a good preparation game for a lot of these Pac-12 teams, because you're facing off a team that can play in the NCAA tournament that understands the sense of urgency.
Well, and sometimes I think, Jordan, for these big conference schools, they kind of have a tendency to overlook the smaller schools. And from the smaller school perspective, they want to prove that, hey, I could have played at the Power 5 level. So you know they're going to come out and give it their best shot. You just got to be ready to meet the challenge.
Foul on the floor against Rosas, and also checking in for Texas Southern, the coach's son, Johnny Jones. His younger son, John Jones, seeing his first action. Bay trapped in the corner, falling backwards, going to get whistled for the travel. So tough situation there on the baseline.
Yeah, that's just a good here. Nobody ever goes to their place to play.
Yep.
And the Pac-12 is going to be the first major conference to not only host those schools here, but also down there. Texas Southern is going to match up with Arizona State. Arizona State's going to go down to Houston and play those guys. So I'm really looking forward to it, Jordan.
That's got to be exciting for those SWAC schools to get a Pac-12 opponent to come visit them. To
Any
get that
Power
caliber of
5
competition.
opponent.
Any Power 5,
Yeah,
you're right.
Because no one does it. You just mentioned earlier, all 13 of their non-conference games on the road. It's the same thing for Alcorn State, probably the same thing for Grambling. All of the SWAC schools probably deal with the same situation.
Rasa scrambling around. Tigers working around, intercepted by Bay. So the quick hands lead to the 5th turnover for the Tigers.
Yeah, that was a tough left-handed pass attempt by Lawson. You can see Lawson wanting to force that screen and roll it down. He doesn't want Dejon Davis to come to the middle.
Fuller, the long three. Roberts trying to fight for it. It'll be Tigers' ball after the collision. And
yeah, Nate Roberts doesn't agree with the call. It clearly looked like he knocked it out of bounds to me. Take another look at it here. Oh, maybe
that looks like it was off
see
of
why
Hopkins.
he's upset. Yeah, it looked like
justified frustration for
nice
Roberts,
steal.
but the steal by Fuller. So Washington, hey, ball don't lie.
This is something you didn't see in the first 2 years under Mike Hopkins. A full court pressure like this, they just didn't do it. And it's paying dividends. As they call an offensive foul on Lawson. Yeah, you're right, ball don't lie. I think Rasheed Wallace and the Portland Trail Blazers invented that term back in the day.
So back-to-back possessions, the press doing what it's supposed to do, applying pressure, forcing 2 consecutive turnovers.
Yeah, Mike Hopkins' first 2 seasons, the only time they would press is if they were down really late in the ball game. But here we are, not even 10 minutes into the first half, and they're pressuring. Nice idea by Jamal Bay, but he turns it over.
Here's Jones going up off the backboard, and Gresham with the hammer follow-up. So the hustle and the attack on the offensive glass really paying off for Texas Southern.
Well, how about Bryson Gresham? I got to give him some love because he's from New Orleans, Louisiana. Went to McDonald 35 High School, which is a high school that was in my district. So I got to give my homeboy some love, Jordan. That was a nice follow-up dunk right there.
Now, did you give McDonald 35 buckets when you were
yeah, I used to give him the business.
Gave him a
Ain't
20
no doubt about that. Neil Smith, the great NFL player that's in the NFL Hall of Fame, went to McDonald 35, and I actually played against him in high school. He tackled me one time on the court. Must have forgot what sport he was playing, Jordan.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, you get the wires crossed sometimes. You get the wires crossed. Here's Matthews coming down hard in transition. This will be an offensive foul against Washington as Emmett Matthews couldn't hit the brakes in time.
Well, that's a good job by John Jones. I think he had his feet set, got back, and drew the offensive foul. That's a brownie point play right there with any coach in America, I think. When you can draw offensive fouls, coaches love it.
Especially when the coach is your dad.
Yeah, you got that right. But it's interesting. I have a son. His name is Eldridge Ricabson III, and he goes by Manny. And I'm looking at Johnny Jones Jr. He doesn't want to go by that, so he's going by John Jones.
John,
just to separate himself from his dad, you know. That's one of the tendencies of the kids, man. It's hilarious.
I'm just grateful I wasn't named Ernie. All right, the press once again.
I would have been calling you Ernest. Ernest Kent, ladies and gentlemen, our play-by-play guy today. Had to be cool, though, to play for your dad. And just last week, you called a game with your dad. That had to be awesome, man.
It really was. And people ask what that's like. And life's all about experiences. And you get to share the experience of competing at such a high level in the Pac-12 as father and son. As Gilliam, his first jumper's no good. But then to come back and call the game was special, too, awesome, because then my son watched it on TV and went nuts when he saw Papa video, and Daddy.
Yeah.
And
he got really excited, man. That had to be a cool moment.
Some fathers and sons, they go fishing. We call basketball games.
I heard that, man. I heard that.
Gilliam fading away to the baseline. Here's Gresham, and again, another offensive rebound for the Tigers. They can't cash in that time, though.
Yeah, they're doing really well on offensive glass. I think that might be their 6th offensive rebound. Gresham just seemed like he rushed himself a little bit there.
He was injured in their game against St. Mary's, and Johnny Jones felt like he would have been a huge difference maker in that game. He gives them what they were missing last year, is what he says about Gresham.
Yeah. Big kid at 6'9".
Davis tries to roll in the three. No good.
That was a good look by Dejon Davis. Mike Hopkins will live with that shot. In and out.
Huskies now just 2 of 10 from beyond the arc. Hopkins, the drive, the take with the right. Rasa skying through the air, able to control the tip.
He's attacking. That's their 7th offensive rebound.
Hopkins, the three is short, but there is Rosas once again. I tell you what, there is at least 1 or 2 Texas Southern players always flying towards the basketball on every miss.
Well, Rosas is bringing a lot of energy. He's attacking offensive glass. I don't care who's in there. He's about 6'5", 6'6", but Nate Roberts is 6'10", 6'11". He's just beating him to every rebound.
The 6'10 Jackson Grant, the freshman McDonald's All-American, seeing his first action. Cole Bajema back into the lineup for Washington. So a little bit more size on the floor for Washington as Brown tries to tip it away, and that's going to be a 50-50 ball rolled in favor of Texas Southern.
Yeah, you mentioned Jackson Grant, number 12, the McDonald's High School All-American. One of the few bigs outside of Nate Roberts that's available because Big Riley Soren, who's 7'4", has been injured. So this is some valuable playing time for Jackson Grant.
Gilliam back to Jones. He'll try the long three. That rolls off, and Wilson skying for the rebound.
Yeah, that was Steph Curry-ish right there, but that's what all the kids are doing these days. You got in trouble for shooting that shot if the shot clock wasn't running down in my era, Jordan. You wasn't just pulling from anywhere. The only guy that I could think of in college that was doing that back then was Reggie Miller. Anybody else, you would go come out.
Well, it's crazy how the desire for range, at least in the college game, has helped stretch the floor and how defenses have had to adjust to that.
Yeah, stretch the floor too much, though, because now the bigs don't even want to play in the post, you know. I don't know how it was for you, but as a guard, I always wanted to post somebody up, and I think bigs always wanted to play on the perimeter, but now everybody is playing on the perimeter in the so-called positionless basketball era that we're in.
Well, the Huskies glad that Terrell Brown is playing on the perimeter. Had 22 points in their opener against Northern Illinois, and a terrific score because in just his first 3 seasons of college basketball, 2 of them at Seattle U, and then 1 at Arizona, over 1,200 career points.
And he's earned everything he's gotten, Jordan. You know, I don't know if you know his story, but coming out of Garfield, he was overshadowed by the likes of Dejon Davis and Jalen Noel. Committed to Western Oregon, ended up going to Shoreline Community College. As we see a little push right there, look like Jackson Grant is going to pick up that foul. But this young man, in his own words, doubled down on himself. Ended up being all WAC at Seattle U. Went on to play with Arizona last year, and here at home with a good program. And you talk about Calvin Sampson over there at U of H. Yes, sir. Both teams have cooled off a little bit, Jordan. They started off hot.
Washington started the game shooting better than 67%. They are now down to 44%. Texas Southern 1 for their last 11 from the field, 0 for their last 7
Yeah, I think the Achilles heel for both teams here early in the season is three-point shooting. Texas Southern is 1 for 6. Washington 2 for 10.
Hopkins gets both free throws to fall for Texas Southern. They regain a 2-point lead, and it's been a tight game. I mean, largest lead has just been 4 the entire night.
And I tell you what, I think Texas Southern know they're going to miss some shots because they're hitting offensive glass hard. They've got 9 offensive rebounds, which is more than the total for Washington, who only has 8 total.
Davis fouled as he goes up, so another trip to the free throw line. That's usually where you can find your rhythm again offensively. If the shots aren't falling, attack the cup, get to the free throw line, and get a little momentum there.
Well, that's his game, attacking the basket, drawing fouls. He's really, really good at that. Did a nice job of it in high school and also at Stanford.
What's it like when you get a Dejon Davis, someone that's been established at Stanford, obviously one of their leaders, now coming over to Washington? How do you implement that into your team chemistry?
Well, I think we talked about it off the air, Jordan. You don't see freshmen as much anymore coming in and have to learn the system, learn the conference and all that stuff. All of the schools, and your school is probably one of the best at it, Dana Altman, are hitting the transfer portal, bringing in guys that are veterans that have experience, that know how to play.
Cole Bajema, the pump fake, gets blocked though, and Texas Southern able to recover after the turnover on the press.
Yeah, that was John Walker III, I think, with the block.
Gilliam stepping through the lane. Outside, here's Etienne, no good. Carl Nicholas attacking the rim, and to your point, the offensive rebounding of Texas Southern continuing to keep them in this game.
Yeah, we take a look at the block here. Cole Bajema gets the steal. But John Walker said, get it out of here, young fella, not today.
That's the problem sometimes when you pump fake, you let that traffic catch up with you.
When you're in the lane in big-time Division I college basketball and you're over 6'5", you got to try to dunk that thing. Because if you don't, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because you talked about Texas Southern attacking the offensive glass. That's 10 offensive rebounds for those guys. I think they know they're going to miss. I remember Georgetown Hoyas back in the day. They couldn't shoot it, but boy, would they hit the glass and go get it.
Well, Texas Southern shooting 14% from 3, 33% from the field, but they're gathering their misses. And that's the whole point in this one. Their offensive rebounding really been the difference maker in this first half. Just under 7.5 minutes left to play. Here's a deep 3 from Brown. That's off the back of the rim.
Yeah, you talk about second chance points. I think Texas Southern has 9 right now. They're just hitting offensive glass. Like I said, they know they're not a great three-point shooting or perimeter shooting team, but they're making up for it because they're going to get it.
That is P.J. Henry whistled for the foul on the box out. So Davis to the free throw line again. Misses the first.
Yeah, that's been an Achilles heel for Washington. The free throw line against Northern Illinois. They went 21 for 36. They've got to get better. And I talk about this all the time, Jordan. I just don't think free throws are sexy, so a lot of the young kids, they don't focus on it and work on it enough.
Yeah, well, you can't have a YouTube highlight reel free throws, right? It's all about the dunks.
If it's winning games, you can. Well, we both know a lot of games are going to come down to free throws at the end, especially in conference play. Oh, that's a nice bounce by P.J. Henry. I'm serious though, Jordan. When I was in college, I wanted to be the best free throw shooter because I could pad my stats a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a technical foul, you get to shoot the technicals. The kids today, they just don't look at it like that.
It's picking up loose change, basically.
Yes,
Nobody carries coins around anymore. Jackson Grant, the long 3, skims off the rim.
Yeah, I don't know if I want my McDonald's All-American big man out there shooting threes, but like I said, that's the game today.
Well, both teams a combined 3 of 19 from outside after some terrific shooting early on. Here's Etienne from the corner. Rattles in and out. Grant with the rebound.
Yeah, that was a great look. In and out, like you said. Coach Johnny Jones will live with that shot.
Brown, the spin move. Grant down low, trying to fight amongst the trees and kisses it off the backboard.
Well, that's where I would much rather see him at. Down there in the paint with his big body. 6'10", shooting threes. I don't know about that one.
Well, the ability to just identify your teammate off the spin move. It's the playmaking from Terrell Brown that it's more than just hitting shots and setting up your teammates. Everything that he can do.
Well, Jordan, he's a veteran, and he always plays under control. You see right there, if you cut him off, he's going to go to a spin move. He's rarely out of control. His high school coach said he was one of the smartest players that he ever coached, and that's Ed Haskins that coached him at Garfield High School, and I agree 100%. I've been watching that young man since he was about in the 9th grade. Really, really heady player, really smart. And like I said, earned his scholarship at all levels.
The good news for the Washington offense is that was their 4th assist. They've been averaging just 5 assists per game, so still with plenty of clock left in this game. The assist numbers are up, 4 assists on 8 buckets, and that shows you're getting more movement on offense.
One of the words of my man Steve Lavin, you got to shed a sugar, baby. You got to share it. The game is always easier when you do.
Let's see if Texas Southern can handle this Washington press. 3 turnovers forced in this first half on this press alone.
That's been paying dividends for him.
And another turnover.
Right. Yep. If I'm Washington, I stay in that full court pressure. You can see the patience here, and leadership from Terrell Brown.
Brown slowing it down. Davis 14 on the shot clock. Sees the double team on the baseline.
That's a lot of
Gets into the paint, a lot of hands poking away at it. Bodies on the floor, tied up, and we'll have a jump ball.
Well, that's one of the reasons they're only averaging 5 assists. That's an example right there. This is a little bit over-dribbling by Dejon Davis, trying to find his own way.
Well, you heard the cheerings from the Texas Southern bench as he continued to dribble, and that's usually a sign that the defense is getting you to do what they want you to do.
Exactly.
So Washington ball on the baseline, 7 to shoot.
I think there might be some condensation on the floor. The ref is...
Oh, they're working hard. 15 minutes in, right?
Yes, sir.
Going to break a sweat at that point.
24-22. Anybody's ball game at this point.
Huskies shooting 40% from the field. Rebounding, been a huge issue in this one for Washington, being out-rebounded 20-9 right now. Here's Brown, the take with the left. And how about Wilson again? He has been Mr. Hustle for Washington here in the first half.
He's a really good athlete, Jordan. Doesn't have a lot of playing experience. I hear he was injured in high school, wasn't allowed to play, so he hadn't had a lot of playing time. But, boy, you just talk about athletic. Here he is here hitting the glass. We talked about Texas Southern being on the offensive glass, but there's Langston Wilson at 6'9" with a crazy bounce. Getting easy putback.
Fought through some contact also, so the foul was on Davis. Got his hand caught reaching into the cookie jar. That'll send Walker, the third, to the free throw line, where he misses the front end.
Yeah, both teams are struggling shooting the basketball from the field and the free throw line.
Tied up at 24 apiece. Neither team has really ran away from the other here in this first half. Third game in this first week of the season for Washington, trying to get to a 2-1 start. Texas Southern trying to pick up their first win of the season. Shot clock at 6 for Brown up top, and there is Wilson.
I'm telling you, Jordan, he's got some bounce, man. Oh, he's going to put some people on some posters this season, folks.
The 1-2 connection, but then back the other way.
Texas Southern right back at you.
It is a dunker's delight here at Alaska Airlines Arena.
Jordan, whatever you can do, I can do better.
Here's Matthews spinning, feet off the glass. Henry rushing down. Henry able to roll it in, so defense leading to offense for the Tigers.
Oh, Texas Southern came to play. Johnny Jones has got his team balling. They're up 2 here with 4:17 left to play. Oh, I have to take my jacket off. This is getting good.
Brown has been working a nice 2-man game with Wilson the last few possessions. Fuller the drive, the spin. Fuller trying to go through some contact. Tough shot. Matthews fighting through it. Cinches in game, but some notable other names. Michael Jordan, I think you might know him, played a little basketball back in the day, but Nate Robinson, 42 inches. I can attest to that, Eldridge, because he taught me, immortalized me. Not just one, but like a sequential poster that went out on a Sports Illustrated on campus, and yes, I can attest. Nate Robinson, all 42 inches of that vert.
Nate the Great. I remember one of my neighbors, Gary Carr, was trying to talk me into going and see this little 5'6" guy. I'm like, man, I'm not going to see a 5'6" guy. So he finally talks me into going to the Spring League game, and I go, and Nate throws it off the backboard in warm-up, goes under his leg and dunks it. And I said, wow, yeah, Nate was a real deal. And that's Jamal Bay, the senior. Really, really good player. Led the Pac-12 in three-point shooting last year, Jordan. I just would like to see him be more aggressive, and he's doing that so far here tonight.
Averaged a career-high 10.9 points per game last season, has 7 straight games in double figures, so he continues to improve.
If I'm not mistaken, weren't you guys in Sproul calling Nate Gary Coleman? back in. I think I remember.
I hope they weren't.
I think they were.
You know who had to pay for that? You know who had to pay for that? Your boy when he came up here.
Well, yeah, he's the ultimate competitor, man. A lot like you, a two-sport athlete. Well, you were a three-sport athlete, but Nate came to Washington on a football scholarship. Ended up playing basketball. We know how great he was and hoop. 3-time slam dunk champ. Just an amazing athlete.
So another turnover for Texas Southern, and that was one of the things that Jordan Carl Nicholas said they had to limit if they were going to have success here tonight. And so far, struggling in the first half. Huskies trying to get a little bit of movement going on offense. Bay, catch and shoot three, and Bay with a little string music.
Yeah, Gresham fell asleep that time. You can't leave Jamal Bay wide open behind the three-point line. Catch and shoot is his game. He's not as effective putting it on the floor, but if you let him square his feet up in his shoulders, he's going to knock most of them down.
Huskies take the lead, just under 3 minutes left here in the first half.
Great.
Etienne stops on a dime and another offensive rebound putback. And we'll see if they rule that basket interference.
Did they?
We're getting an official ruling on this. Right now, the bucket counts.
If not, that's 12 offensive rebounds. Washington only has 12 total rebounds. Mike Hopkins is not going to be happy about that, Jordan.
Offensive rebound, though, for Wilson. Poked away. Huskies gather it. Here's Bajema stopping on a dime. Too strong on the jumper.
A good rebound by Gresham. Nice look by Cole Bajema. 6'7", nice looking player.
Henry trying to work his way behind the screen, tapped around. Ball loose. Wilson dives for it. Wilson rolling all over the ground.
I mean, Texas Southern is they're just more active on the glass. They got a hand on another offensive rebound. Just fortunately for Washington, it didn't go in.
So the basket was good for Bryson Gresham earlier, but you mentioned it seems like every other possession, players are falling down trying to get up to that loose ball, and this is what you need to do against the Texas Southern team is you need to match their output.
That's all about energy. You know that, Jordan. You got to bring the energy, man. The team that plays with the most energy is the team that normally wins. They're definitely going to be the team that's more aggressive.
Coming up on Saturday, Pac-12 Network is the place to be as we're bringing you a conference doubleheader. Washington heads into Boulder to take on Colorado, followed by Cal and Stanford battling it out for the Axe at 4 p.m. Coverage begins Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Pac-12 Network, or download and stream each game live wherever you might be with Pac-12 Now. November college football is something else. It just is always chaos, it feels like, regardless of where your team may be.
Well, your boys are number 3 in the country right now, aren't they?
Hey, it's a tough game for Oregon coming up on the road at Utah. Utah favored.
Wow, how about that?
And
favored over the number 3 team in the country in Utah.
Utah's been balling. You should have seen what Utah did to Stanford. Hung up 50 on the Cardinal the other day. Ran all over them.
All right.
And it's tough because you love to see that competitive balance in the conference, but you also, as a conference, want to get a team in the playoff.
Exactly.
So Oregon most likely needs to run the table as Bay trying to curl for another 3, too short.
Yeah, that was a heat check shot right there.
Bay leading scorer for the Huskies with 7. Henry with 8 leads all scorers for the game. Walker the third trying to go baseline. Fouled, though, by Brown. Brown just trying to keep the arms up, but a little bit too much body.
Yeah, John Walker hadn't scored yet, I don't believe. He's got 2 points, but he really created something out of nothing right there. He was hunting his shot on that play.
Doesn't have a field goal attempt. Yeah, Walker does, and arguably their best player.
Well, that's one of the things about when your name is highlighted on that scouting report when you walk in the locker room. Washington was definitely focused on shutting him down. As I said, averaging 17 coming into this one.
Walker from Houston, Texas, transferred over from Texas A&M. As you mentioned, 17 points. Shot 46% from the field, a block and a half last year, and that's why he was first team All-SWAC in the preseason poll, and a reason why they feel like they can get back to the tournament and claim this conference tournament title. Fuller the drive, and that's off his knee.
Yeah, he dribbled that ball off of his leg. When you talk about John Walker the third, when I look at him, I see Trevor Ariza. He's got that long, athletic body.
That's a really good call.
A lot like Trevor Ariza. That's who he kind of reminds me of with his mannerisms.
So the press has forced 5 Texas Southern turnovers. They're able to crack the code this time. Henry racing down the floor. Tries to hand it off to Gresham. That's going to be out of bounds off Texas Southern, so the turnovers continue to plague the Tigers. That's their 10th turnover of the game.
Yeah, that's great hands by Terrell Brown.
Just over a minute left. The largest lead for any team this game has been just 4 points. Brown into the paint, elevating, and he's fouled. So game starting to get a little choppy. Fouls back and forth.
That's his game right there, Jordan. Driving into the paint, being under control, shooting a little floater. He loves to go left. That time I thought he had a little bit of a tough time getting it over the length of the Texas Southern Tigers that time, but he was able to draw the foul.
Brown, 6 points, has all 7 of Washington's assists here in the first half, and that's something that they were looking forward to. More assists, more sharing of the basketball after averaging just 5 assists per game in their first 2 games. They've already bettered that by 2, and we're not even done with the first half.
Yeah, but you got to get contributions from more than one guy. He's got them all 7 of them?
Sharing the sugar. So you're saying you can't hog the sugar, even if you're sharing it. Everyone else got to have a spoon.
I got to ask Lab about that one. I don't know if you can hog the sugar.
Ask for Steve's logic behind that one.
I don't know if you can hog the sugar or not, but he's definitely sharing it, but everybody else is keeping theirs to themselves. That's not good.
Tigers trying to get it in and out against the zone. Gilliam back to Henry. Henry in the corner. Here's Hopkins, and he rattles home a 3.
That was a nice pass by Henry. And like you said, Hopkins was locked and loaded, ready to let that one go.
So Hopkins with 8 points. Texas Southern matching their largest lead. Wilson, catch and shoot. Can't get the bunny. Tapped around. Rogers fighting for it. It's going to be Texas Southern ball.
Yeah, they say that's off of Nate Roberts, who's been really, really quiet against Northern Illinois. He had 19 rebounds. But we haven't mentioned his name much at all here tonight.
Roberts just 2 rebounds as Texas Southern out-rebounding Washington 24-16. Texas Southern will take a timeout at this moment. The 4-point lead looks like they'll probably hold for the last shot. So Texas Southern, their 3rd straight road game out of 13 consecutive games on the road, they will. So let's go ahead and get to our next Nextiva team talk. And Johnny Jones, what's he discussing with his squad right now as you hold for probably the last shot of the first half?
I think first and foremost, he's going to tell his team, going into the second half, let's just keep attacking the glass. They have 12 offensive rebounds right now, and I think that's been a difference for them. They're struggling shooting the ball from the perimeter, not shooting it great, but whenever you can go get your miss, that's going to keep you in ball games.
When you need to talk with your team, always use Nextiva. When Texas Southern was getting ready to play Oregon, Dana Altman was very concerned about this game because he recognized the athleticism, the experience, the toughness of Texas Southern with these 9 seniors and grad players, and that's been the difference. The rebounding, the offensive rebounding specifically, has allowed Texas Southern to nurse this lead throughout the first half.
And not only that, Jordan, you don't want to have a pay game. And what we mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, is you're paying that team to come here and play you, and you lose. You pay a man, you get the hell. You don't want that to happen. And Texas Southern surprised Oregon a few years ago.
The Tigers knocking off the 13th ranked Ducks in 2016. Texas Southern just 2-22 in their last 24 games against the Pac-12. Here's Henry. 6 to shoot. Henry to his left. A 1-2 step in the gallop, tapped around. And that'll do it for the first half of action. So Texas Southern, a test for Washington, as the Huskies put up 33 points, get 7 assists. But it's been a physical, athletic game as adverse. Texas Southern showing why they were picked to win the SWAC in the preseason poll. 37-33 advantage over Washington. 3rd game in this first week of the season for the Huskies. And they are dealing with a very athletic Texas Southern team that is crashing the boards. So obviously boxing out has got to be a priority for the Huskies in the second half, but defensively you love what Washington has done as far as forcing 10 turnovers against Texas Southern in the first half.
I would say the number one thing for Texas Southern is they got to handle the pressure of Washington full court press, and then on the flip side, Washington has to box out like you said and try to keep Texas Southern off the glass. 13 huge offensive rebounds in that first half.
Here's Lawson back over to Henry. Carl Nicholas kicks it back out to Lawson, blocked by Bay. So already some early defense. Bay in transition, trying to Euro step, slashed at by Henry. So Washington once again trying to get in transition quickly after the stop.
Jamal Bay, 6'6". You're not just going to pull up in his face and shoot over him like he's not there. And that's just a great contested shot. As a result, the block. And then on the other end, just used his body, was patient, drew the foul. You can see the hack across the arm right there by P.J. Henry.
Jamal Bay, 7 points on the night. 7 straight games in double figures.
I believe Jamal Bay shot 52% from the three-point line last season. And it just puzzles me that he gets to the free throw line and he seems to struggle a little bit. He missed the first of 2 right there. You would think free throws would be easy money for him.
It's too close.
Well, maybe he shoots his free throw from the three-point line. I don't know if that's legal or not, but he might as well try it.
So Bay splits a pair. Huskies trail by 3. Trying to extend that zone out right now, force the Tigers further away from the bucket. Texas Southern playing their first 13 games of this season on the road. They don't play a home game until January 8th. Here is Hopkins from outside, and another offensive rebound for the Tigers.
Well, that's been the Achilles heel today for the Washington Huskies. Giving up offensive rebounds, that's number 14.
Lawson, the drive, the dish, and Carl Nicholas down low with the patience.
Well, that's 22 points in the paint, but they're all pretty much coming from offensive rebounds for Texas Southern. Johnny Jones has to be tickled pink with his team hitting the glass.
The 3 from outside, that is good for Dejon Davis. So a much-needed triple for the Huskies.
If Dejon Davis can consistently knock down the three-point shot, boy, it's going to open up so much for him because he's really good at getting to the basket.
See Walker up top, number 24, arguably the best player for Texas Southern. A quiet night so far with just 4 points. Lawson rips it away. Here's Hopkins,
nice
dancing through the lane, tapped at, batted around. Roberts, last one to get a hand on it. It will still be Tigers ball.
Well, it must be extremely difficult to box out in the zone because Texas Southern is beating Watch to the ball on every shot attempt.
Well, very quick-footed athletes.
They are.
For Texas Southern. Hard to box out because they're always moving and just determined every single shot. They are sending multiple bodies to the glass.
Well, you look at the only person that's really in the paint is Nate Roberts. That's one reason. And it's called the 2-3 zone, Jordan, but you tell me, does that look like the 2-3 zone you ran when you were at Oregon? It doesn't look like the one I ran here at Washington.
Well, no, you see variations of it a lot of times where the guards will really extend down to the corner sometimes. And the 2-3 zone, as you know, can put a lot of pressure on the guards up top. You've got to be very mobile. Yeah,
but Washington lifts their wings. Their wings are all the way out to the three-point line. That's just a nice pull-up jumper by P.J. Henry.
So Henry knocking down the jumper. Henry now with 10 points. You've got 2 Tigers in double figures. Here's Roberts fighting his way to the rim, hacked a few times, and he'll get some free throws.
You know, Nate Roberts, he's going to draw the foul, but I thought as soon as he caught that ball, he should have just went up and dunked it. He's 6'11". He's got to pound that thing on somebody's head to send a message. It's all right to gather yourself and draw the foul, but just dunk that ball. I mean, it's a great pass right there. He hesitates. You got to be ready to finish. He's got that Dwight Howard-looking body. He's definitely on the all-airport team. You see him, boy, and I tell you what, he's impressive looking by the body.
You said all-airport team?
All-airport team, baby. When he walks through the airport, you're like, wow, that guy's starting for somebody. I don't know who.
Now, did you ever get that, though? Did you ever get?
Hey, I was a little skinny dude at the UW, man. I had the cold flat top, though, Jordan.
Yeah, there you go.
I had the coldest flat top on the West Coast.
Well, they're
baby.
coming back now with the fade also.
I know.
You saw
that
that
means
over the
I'm
last
getting
couple
old.
of years.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, I got a hole in my afro now. I can't rock it again. Oh, man.
So Wilson checking in for Roberts. Wilson was very active in the first half for Washington, and now you see the full court press. That has been the Achilles heel for Texas Southern. They have not had any capacity to handle that so far.
Just as much as the offensive rebound that has benefited Texas Southern, the press for Washington, the same thing on the opposite end, paying huge dividends for them. And that had to be the quickest sub I think I've ever seen in my life right there. Langston Wilson's back out and Nate Roberts is back in. Mike Hopkins must have just wanted to tell him something.
That's the defensive substitution, maybe. Davis, a long 3, the splash from outside.
Dejon Davis, known as John here in Seattle, 2 back-to-back three-pointers.
Davis 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. Roberts whistled for the foul. But that 3 has tied it up at 41 apiece.
Their shot is looking good here tonight, Jordan. You know, he's getting his feet set. As we see right here, defense goes under the screen. He said, okay, I'm going to make you pay. Yak him from the top.
Always helps when you get that rhythm bounce right into the jumper also. So Davis, the back-to-back threes, he's got 8 points. Walker catching it in the 2-3 zone in the middle and quickly tied up.
That's just great help defense by Dejon Davis. Drawing the jump ball, possession arrow goes to Washington.
Basically a pseudo turnover.
Yeah, talked about
the
his ability to drive to the basket, but if he can consistently knock down the jump shot, that's going to open up everything for Washington.
And so the Wilson-Roberts substitution again happens.
Well, Langston's been the more effective player so far here tonight. 7 points and 5 rebounds in 13 minutes in that first half.
Terrell Brown, 8 points also in the first half. Had 22 in the first game of the season. But it's been Davis with the hot hand in the second half. Thought about the step back three, nearly a heat check. Matthews will line it up.
Yeah, it looked like that was an isolation play set up for Dejon Davis, but Texas Southern was ready to send some help defenders. You would like to see Washington get a little bit more movement on the offensive end. They're being real stagnant.
Texas Southern trying to pick their spots here against the zone. Henry will line up a long triple, rolls around. Wilson trying to go up, can't snag it. Tapped around. Carl Nicholas fighting for it. Brown able to control it. Look at the handle. Brown spinning, whirling, dishing, and the finish. How about that?
That was absolutely beautiful by Terrell Brown. I thought he was going to try to finish himself, but he shared the sugar, Jordan Kidd. He shared the sugar, baby.
The Huskies with the lead now. 9th assist of the game for Washington, all of them courtesy of Brown. Henry no good in the paint, tapped around. Going to remain Tigers ball off of Wilson.
I like the way P.J. Henry plays. He plays under control. That was a nice pull-up jumper right down the lane, just missed it. But once again, the active bodies of Texas Southern.
Well, Texas,
that ball out. Yeah.
Texas Southern, much like Washington, where you've got a bevy of players from Seattle, you have 6 players from Houston.
That's what you want to do. You're going to get the best players from your city because you're going to get great fan support. Your fans are going to be familiar with them. Washington, 3 guys from Garfield High School right here in Seattle, and then Emmett Matthews from Woodrow Wilson in Tacoma, only 30 minutes up the road. And Houston's got a ton of great athletes.
A lot of these players transferring from some other divisions, a couple of other Power 5s back to Texas Southern. Here's Hopkins attacking in the lane, lost the dribble, regathered, and then is fouled. So the aggression being rewarded. Timeout on the floor, but the Huskies starting to step on the gas. They take the lead 43-41. Terrell Brown, all 9 of his team candy right now.
I love that reference right there. Trick-or-treaters just went to his house on the block. They kept on going, walking past everybody else. I've never seen a situation where one guy has all the assists. That's just odd, but I got to tip my hat to him. He's getting it done.
Justin Hopkins at the line, splits a pair.
I got a feeling this one's going to go all the way down to the wire, Jordan, because Texas Southern is playing with a lot of confidence.
They just want to get their first win of the season. They know every win they can pick up on the road prior to conference play is huge for them.
And they still got some tough opponents left. NC State, BYU, Cincinnati.
Bay the drive and the kick. Matthews can't get the left-handed hook. Back come the Tigers.
That was Jordan Gilliam with the rebound there, number 11.
Gilliam did not play in that game against St. Mary's. Back on the floor tonight for Texas Southern.
And John Walker III he's been really quiet.
Gilliam stopping in the paint, goes off the window for 2.
Did he call glass?
I didn't hear him.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, when you go glass and straight on, that's more luck than skill. Tough shot.
But then a friendly bounce for Terrell Brown, and he's now just 1 assist away from a double-double tonight.
That's his game, though, Jordan. Mid-range, pull-ups, going left. That's what he loves to do.
Henry trying to work the screen from Walker. Texas Southern trying to hit that short corner a lot of times against this zone. See Carl Nicholas down there, the pump fake, the drive baseline. Picks up his dribble. Here's Walker stepping through and knifes through the lane. for the 2.
That's just nice interior passing by Texas Southern. You know, they're not rushing anything. They're being real patient, taking what the defense gives them. And that time, it's just great big pass.
Matthews, the backdoor cut, will kick it back out.
You talked about that short corner paying dividends for the Tigers. Oh, good steal.
And the clean steal by Gilliam. Gilliam, the Euro step, tough take. Bank isn't open a second time, though. Rebound to Matthews.
And talk about a high degree of difficulty on the shot attempt.
So Matthews has gotten a few possessions in a row in the paint. Draws the foul against Walker here.
Yeah, I think that's more where he's going to be effective. He shot a couple threes. I don't think that's his game, but down in the paint and just being aggressive. Play for Bobby Huggins at West Virginia. You know you got to be a tough player to play for Bobby. He stepped up last game against Northern Arizona and was a difference maker. 21 points in that ball game.
To go along with 9 rebounds. It was first time he almost had a double-double since he was a freshman at West Virginia. Brown, the hesitation. Out to Wilson. He'll line up a corner 3. Bounces off. But a foul on the floor. And they're going to get this one against Texas Southern.
Yeah, that's the great Vern Harris on the call down there. He's going to call holding against Texas Southern, one of the best officials in all of college basketball. I'm not going to argue with his call because I know he knows what he's doing.
Foul was on Walker. So that's his 3rd personal.
It's a lot of one-on-one from Washington. I think that's one of the reasons you only see one guy with the assist, but that young man could also score the basketball. Terrell Brown, ladies and gentlemen. But a lot of isolation basketball for the Huskies. You don't see a lot of ball movement, a lot of body movement.
And Washington getting lost on defense. The open 3, no good for Walker, and then the foul on the floor as both Brown and Wilson sandwiched Gilliam.
I've never seen Mike Hopkins' zone give up so many offensive rebounds. That's got to be close to 20 now for Texas Southern.
You know when you're playing zone, it's difficult on those box outs because you have to turn and find your man that you're usually not connected to, and that is what has allowed Texas Southern to stay in this game, the offensive rebounding.
Yeah, they're living on the glass.
19 of them for the Tigers.
Offensive rebounds, yeah. They don't have anybody the size of Moses Malone. I don't know if you old enough to remember.
Oh, I know Moses. Come on.
You young man.
Come on, shout at the backboard. Playing with the chain.
You know, they used to say he used to miss shots on purpose just to get the offensive
Had the
rebound.
stats.
Yeah.
Fuller with a near steal. Hopkins
nice
up and under. So the Huskies having to pay for the gamble, and Texas Southern taking back the lead 48-47, just over 13 minutes left.
Well, Hopkins was really under control. He didn't go in there out of control.
Fuller, and that was blocked against the backboard.
That was.
Henry racing
nice
down the floor. Davis tripped up, and back-to-back buckets for the Tigers.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was just a great rim run right there.
So the Huskies will call timeout after back-to-back buckets and try to recalibrate a few things as Texas Southern storming back to recapture the lead here in Seattle.
Hey, you! Domino's is giving away $15 million in surprise frees.
Lava cake.
Other delivery apps add support.
Yeah.
Early road tests.
Yeah, they're struggling here early. I think they're going to really miss Ethan Thompson. You know, he had a great career for Oregon State, and I think he's going to be missed. Didn't get the national exposure and credit that I thought he deserved, but he was a fantastic player.
Well, Wayne Tinkle, an excellent coach, has his group up in Corvallis with some higher expectations this year, but tonight the story has been the offensive rebounding for Texas Southern. Their first 2 games, 21 offensive rebounds. Very impressive, but tonight, 19 alone in this game.
Well, Johnny Jones has to be giving out some type of bonus. Extra socks, shorts, T-shirts, something. Hit the glass, man. I know he can't pay him extra money, but he has to be giving him something.
Brown has knocked down his last 3 jumpers. Now up to a game-high 14 points to go along with 9 assists. The Huskies trail by 1.
I'm telling you, Jordan, he can flat out shoot the mid-range jumper. That's his game.
Davis trying to take the charge. There's Roberts to deny the access for Henry.
That Nate Roberts has to make his presence felt out there. Rebounding, blocking shots, getting the ball in the paint, finishing with dunks. He's just a massive human being.
Roberts had 2 blocks in that victory over Northern Arizona the other night. Here is Gilliam. Look how far the Texas Southern offense is having to operate right now.
Yeah, that zone.
And another block by the Huskies, a combo.
That's just great defense by Washington. Extending their zone, creating havoc for Texas Southern.
Timeout, Washington trying to rally back here. Just under 12 minutes left. And you look at what they have coming back this year.
Well, if they're picked to finish 8th by the so-called experts, I guess that's you, Jordan.
Oh, no. Whoa.
I didn't cast the ballot.
Okay.
But I tell you what, I've been impressed. I've had 2 Washington State games so far this season. Terrell Roberts is fantastic. Michael Flowers, the new guard, that's good. We see Efe Abogidi right there, but there might be a better athlete than him there named Mohamed Gay, 6'11", that just flat out jumps out the gym. They're going to be really, really good.
Jordan Kent alongside Eldridge Ricasner, apparently throwing me under the bus. It's already bad enough I'm a duck up in Seattle, but then the offensive foul against Davis on the spin move.
Yeah, he forced the issue there a little bit. You knocked down 2 threes early in this half, but going to the hole is his game. Yeah, that looked like a good call.
Well, that's what stands out about Texas Southern. It's a SWAC conference team, and obviously the SWAC has not had the same success as the Pac-12, but the athletes they have are on par with the athletes in the Pac-12. You can't just beat someone off the dribble like it's nothing.
And like I said earlier, they want to prove that they can play at this level. So this game means a lot more to them than it does to Washington. They feel like they have nothing to lose. They're playing with house money, and right now they're winning.
Another turnover for Texas Southern, their 14th of the game. Davis trying to turn the corner. Davis up and under with the left.
That's his game right there, Jordan, attacking the basket. Whether he's going right or left, he's really good at that. And like I said, if he can knock down a couple threes like he did, defense has to come out there and guard him, and that gives him an opportunity to get to the cup.
Washington takes back the lead. Davis now the 3rd Husky in double figures. Here is Henry with his 10 points, kicks it over to Hopkins. Lawson looking down low. Carl Nicholas can't handle the pass, and right on the floor is Fuller diving for the fumble. That'll be a jump ball. This has got to be the 4th or 5th jump ball we've seen tonight.
Well, Washington defense is a lot more effective here in the second half. Texas Southern can't really get any good looks, and like right there, took his eye off the ball. Almost was a turnover. Thank goodness they got the possession arrow.
The ball boys getting a workout tonight, by the way.
Yes, they are.
Remember sweat spots we've seen? Yes.
Yep.
Henry, the drive out of the corner. Bevia moves in the paint, kicks it back outside. Lawson has to heave it. Lawson able to hit the rim, and that is tapped to the front row. That's going to be Huskies' ball.
Yeah, they're going to call that one off of Hopkins. I think he hit it last. Great defense by Washington, not giving up any good looks.
Second possession in the last couple of minutes that the Tigers have had to force something on a dwindling shot clock.
This is too much isolation basketball for Washington. P.J. Fuller looked like he was about to try to do his thing until Mike Hopkins said something. But then here goes Terrell Brown trying to do it by himself.
Lawson with the pack. Here is Henry, and then matched by Fuller. Lawson the loose ball. Lawson flying through the air, and then Fuller takes the charge. So a defensive highlight reel on that possession.
Well, P.J. Fuller is an outstanding athlete. I'm not surprised to see him get that great block, but I am surprised to see him back it up with a charge. But right here, block shot on one end. That's a block right there by Lawson. They had great defense on both ends, Jordan.
It's about the 3rd time tonight we've seen a highlight on one floor matched by the exact same play on the other. We've had alley-oops, we've had threes, and then block shots.
Yes, sir.
Brown, the baseline jumper, rattles home. Huskies up 3.
Yeah, that's his game, Jordan. Mid-range jumpers, baby. Look at him. He's fired up. He's talking to somebody. I don't know if he's talking to himself, but he's firing himself up. I love that young man. He said he doubled down on himself, and it paid off.
Brown, 16 points, 6 of 10 from the field to go along with all 9 of Washington's assists.
He's the only one giving out the candy, huh?
Only house on the block. 7 to shoot for Lawson. Shot clock again going against the Tigers. Lawson has to put it up, and the junk falls for A.J. Lawson.
The power of prayer, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes prayers are answered, because that was just a horrible shot, in my opinion, but he got it to go. Lawson got it to go.
That brings the Tigers to within 1. Davis trying to force his way And Henry with the foul, so Davis will get some free throws.
And P.J. Henry doesn't like that call at all. He thought that was good defense. As we see Terrell Brown right here. Still talking to himself out there. He's trying to fire himself up. Jordan, look. He's over there talking to Coach Mike Hopkins now. As Dejon Davis goes to the free throw line. This young man started his high school career at Lakeside High School. Then he transferred over to Garfield.
So now we're getting transfers in high school. Is that where the transfer portal is going to trickle down to?
I think the transfer portal, it already exists down there. At least here in Seattle it does. It's utilized quite often. But Garfield High School has a great tradition. Of course, everybody knows who Brandon Roy is. Tony Roten, another player that played here at Washington. We've had some great players over the years, along with Rainier Beach and Franklin.
Institutions, as we like to call them.
It's a basketball hotbed, no doubt about it. I think it's because of the rain, though, honestly, Jordan. It's so nasty out, you have no choice but to go to the gym.
Nobody wants to mess around with soccer or football.
No, buddy.
Here is Gresham trying to back down. First action we've seen from him in the second half. No good. Fuller, full head of steam. Crashing his way to the cup, but the Huskies get the loose ball. Bodies, fans, people all over the place.
That was a tough shot attempt right there by P.J. Fuller, who's looking for the foul. Oh, good block.
Brown blocked by Walker. Wilson gets the loose ball. Wilson slow to get up. Fuller, corner three. That's no good. You see Wilson.
Yeah, he looked like he's in some serious pain.
Some very serious discomfort for Wilson as he has to go and sit against the scores table, and you see him clutching that hip.
Yeah, he's grabbing his hip. I don't know if he took a knee in the side or what.
Well, you weren't seeing much mobility in that leg. He's trying to jog it off, and
well, he doesn't have a lot of padding around those bones. He's about as thin as it comes.
Well, one more look.
Take a look here and see.
He falls right on that left hip.
Yeah. We used to call those hip pointers, huh? That hurts.
And that is one that hurts more in the morning than it does right now,
boy.
too.
Hey, I would tell him this. Advils.
Welcome to being 37. That's how I feel every morning when I wake up.
Well, I'm 54, buddy, so think about that one. If you feel like that at 37, just imagine. Yeah, Advil works wonders, ladies and gentlemen.
Huskies up by 2, 8:30 left in this ball game. Their defenses really allowed them to regain control of this game because Texas Southern has not looked comfortable. Lawson spinning, and Lawson, how about the moves and the balance?
He put him in a whirlpool spin cycle, ladies and gentlemen. Lawson to the cup with the spin.
So Lawson starting to come alive. He's got 9 points. The drive and dish by Fuller. Matthews goes up, fouled to the floor once again.
That was a nice pass by P.J. Fuller, though. Going to the hole, drawing the help defense, and making a nice pass. But you won't see a prettier move than this. Lawson puts him in the spin cycle with the little kiss off the glass.
Texas Southern keeping it close here in Seattle.
The ancient Greeks had 4 words for love. The most admirable is called.
The zone seems to be working effectively, and right here we see their full court pressure, which has paid huge dividends for him. That full court trap by Mike Hopkins is coming up big time, but I think their 2-3 zone is also paying dividends for them. Texas Southern hasn't been able to get the really good looks that they got in the first half, and it's just the effort of the Washington Huskies. We see P.J. Fuller right there just run down that guy and swat it LeBron James style.
6 blocks for Washington. They have forced Texas Southern into 15 turnovers. Washington, 21 points off those turnovers.
Yeah, that press is paying huge dividends. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this a lot more throughout the season.
Matthews, the first free throw is good. Had that huge game the other night against Northern Arizona. 21 points, 9 rebounds tonight. A little bit tougher the going. 1 of 7 for just 3 points.
A lot like John Walker III. You know, we talked about him being on the scouting report, and I think it's the same thing for him and Matthews. And that's what separates you as a player. When you can consistently play well, when your name is highlighted on that board in the locker room, then that's when you know you're the real deal.
Huskies back up 1. Walker up top. Kicks it over to Gilliam. Gilliam trying to get Walker the ball. Walker denied well by Brown. Hopkins back over to Gilliam. 6 to shoot. Walker going at it. Walker, no good. Good look, but tapped in by Gresham. Offensive rebound, number 20.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Texas Southern is hitting the glass.
Tigers regain the lead. Here's Matthews down low. Kicks it back outside to Bay. Bay over to Fuller. Fuller trying to challenge Walker. The step back three is good.
That's a big time shot by P.J. Fuller. The Huskies are doing it one-on-one, but that time it paid off.
Huskies back up to Gilliam, dancing through the lane. And that's going to be Washington ball. The quick hands disrupting the Tigers offense.
Well, I think that pass might have caught John Walker off guard.
Huskies up to their largest lead of this game has been 3. Brown knocked to the floor and gets it to drop.
Well, we saw one prayer in the first half, and I got to say that that's another prayer here for Washington in the second half. But Terrell Brown has it going. I mean, he's feeling it. I told you he likes to get to the hole and use his body, as we see here with the little spin move. This throws up a prayer and is answered. 18 points for Terrell Brown.
Still has all 9 of Washington's assists, so
he's the only one. I'm going to ring his doorbell after the game's over. He's the only one. He's giving out a lot of candy.
What kind of king size are you looking for from there?
I'm not king. I'm a milk dud kind of guy. Yeah, I just want that little small 3-in-the-box milk duds. That's cool for me, Jordan. I'll take that.
Brown can't convert the three-point play. Nearly gets the steal.
Yeah, almost another turnover.
And the foul by Bay as he was hitching a ride next to Lawson.
Washington's playing extremely hard. I think they really like the full court pressure. Previous years, Mike Hopkins just sit back in that zone. But they're getting out, extending their defense, and it's paying off for them.
Huskies with their largest lead of the game at 4. Tigers with 36 points in the paint to Washington's 16 in the paint. Here's Hopkins, lowers his shoulder. They're going to get Matthews. No offensive foul. They're going to switch that. We didn't see the demonstrative charge call from the official.
You're right.
That's normally what they practice in the mirror, right? Every official got their own little song and dance with that?
The charge block call and the offensive foul. That's their chance to shine, huh?
The most subtle charge calls you will see.
Vern Harrison's going to have a talk with him.
And that's more what we're looking for right there on the charge.
I tell you what, George, you talk about having one play on one end and then another one on the other. Offensive fouls on both ends.
So Brown,
both players just forcing the issue.
A little too aggressive on the drive. 17 turnovers for Texas Southern.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And
Jones is going to be happy about that.
Any level of college basketball, you know, you can't afford to do that on the road because that's really what has allowed Washington to maintain this lead. 21 points off those turnovers. Lawson. Dribbling clinic, kicks it back outside to Walker. Walker to the corner. Henry a 3, no good. But there is Hopkins tying up with Matthews. Both players still squeezing the orange. Hesitant to give it up.
Yeah, 2 competitors going after that loose ball. Probably the toughest guys on each team. Hopkins for Texas Southern and Matthews for Washington. Possession arrow goes to Washington.
So Washington ball, they lead by 4, just under 6 minutes left here. Washington has shot 55% from the field in the second half. This coming from a team that shot 32% in their first 2 games combined. So they have to love the fact that their offense has become a lot more efficient. Matthews off target on the 3.
Yeah, boy, you're talking about just a bit outside.
Here's Lawson. That's going to be an offensive foul.
Yeah, Lawson's trying to do it all by himself. Every time he gets the ball, he's looking to go one-on-one. I'm assuming he's one of their better offensive players, but he's just forcing the issue here and turning the ball over either with offensive fouls or just turning the ball over, period. He's going to get a blow.
So Jordan Gilliam will call him in for Lawson. That is the 18th turnover for Texas Southern.
Yeah, we hadn't seen much from John Walker III, their leading scorer coming into this game. And he's only got 5.5 minutes left to get it going.
The zone from Washington has been very effective, and then Bay with the turnover. But then poked away by Davis. Davis trying to control it. He crashes in the Texas Southern bench. Walker, the 1-2 step. Nothing falling for Walker in the paint.
That would have been a good time to just come to a jump stop and shoot a little pull-up.
Fuller trying to go baseline, dishes it to Matthews. Matthews, the pump fake, fighting through the contact. Can't get it to drop. But we'll get a couple of free throw attempts.
He doesn't have a big body, Jordan, but he's a tough kid. Plays hard. He's disappointed he didn't get the and one. This is another good pass by P.J. Fuller.
And it's the composure after that catch and the defense collapses that you've got to have. And we've seen Matthews. He's been in that position all night long, catching it in that short corner, and has to make some quick decisions.
Yeah, he gave a nice little head fake to get the defender up in the air. But he's got to be able to convert at the free throw line.
Huskies now just 4 of 10 from the free throw line in the second half, 10 of 17 for the game. That is good for 59%.
Yeah, that's not good enough, though. Got to do better than that.
Second free throw for Matthews is good.
He gets the second one to go.
Washington extends their largest lead of the game to 5. And the crowd starting to get on their feet here.
I was just about to say that. You can see the crowd getting into it a little bit, try to give the home team a little bit of a lift.
Pivotal moment in this game. Washington, the defense has put the clamps on Texas Southern here in the second half. Tigers trying to hang in there. Hopkins trying to go up by himself behind the back, loses his footing, and we have opposite calls from the officials. They will have a board meeting here to clear this out. And it is an offensive foul against Hopkins. Johnny Jones is furious.
Yeah, the official on the wing conceded to the official on the baseline. I don't blame Johnny Jones for being upset because one ref called the block, the other one called the charge. The toughest call to make, as we see it right here. Official at the top right there calls the block, the one on the baseline calls the charge.
I think folks in Seattle are familiar with 2 officials with a call, I think in a football game a couple years ago against Green Bay.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah. How about the spin move by Davis? Scales the mountaintop.
Yeah, the big momentum is changing, ladies and gentlemen. As Dejon Davis absorbs the contact and finishes the beautiful layup.
Huskies up 7. Trying to put this one away. Timeout on the floor for Texas Southern. Alaska Airlines Arena coming to life here down the home stretch of this game.
Yeah, it's been a good ball game. It hasn't been the...
Huskies on an 8-0 run. Their largest lead of the game is 7. Let's get to tonight's jockey difference maker, and that is the transfer from Stanford, Dejon Davis.
Yeah, he's 2 for 4 from 3, but we see right here, he attached the basket, absorbed the contact, and finishes, gives a little flex. He's just been fantastic tonight. You know, I mean, that's just a beautiful move. Should have been an and one because he did get some body contact. But he's just happy to have the basket go.
Coming into this game, Davis was just 4 of 19 from the field tonight, 4 of 6. And he's got to be thrilled to see that because when you get these guards for Washington playing at an efficient level with the opportunities they're given to go one-on-one, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And this is going to be another turnover for Texas Southern. They've turned it over now 20 times in this game.
That Washington defense has really bothered him. I think PJ Henry's had a really good game. He stepped on the baseline that time, but it's all due to Washington's defense.
Texas Southern just 9 of 26, shooting 34% here in the second half. Bay thought about the handoff. He'll stop, elevate, short.
Yeah, that's that dribble weave offense for Washington.
Henry on the wing, cross-court pass to Gilliam. Under 4 to play.
Oh, nice.
Gilliam with the right hand, can't get it to fall. More offensive rebounds, finally tapped in.
You give them 3 more offensive rebounds on that possession. Finally, Grisham gets it to go. But they're just beating Washington to the ball on the glass. That's got to be like 25 offensive rebounds. Mike Hopkins, that's going to definitely be the highlight of the video session tomorrow.
24 offensive rebounds for Texas Southern, and Matthews loses it as he goes up. So another stop for Texas Southern.
Yeah, it looked like some contact on that play, Jordan, but I guess the referees didn't see it. I didn't agree with it. Let's take a look and see. Oh, yeah, there's some body contact there. This is a pickup game. I don't call it foul. Ball on the side, baby. And they're letting them play. Big possession right here for Texas Southern. Let's see if they can get a bucket.
Down 5. They finally put a stop to the 8-0 run. Here's Gresham down low, too strong. Rebound Huskies.
Yeah, Texas Southern went to a horn set that time with a high screen on each side. Got the shot they wanted, just didn't go.
Terrell Brown, 18 points, 9 assists, 1 assist away from tying his career high. Still has all 9 of Washington's assists.
They're going to try to milk as much clock as they can.
Fuller, one-on-one, pinned by Walker against the backboard, out of bounds, Husky ball.
Well, Washington runs a lot of NBA sets. There's a lot of isolation plays for all of their players. Obviously, Mike Hopkins feels like he has an advantage with his guys' ability to go one-on-one. But the whole entire defense knew what was happening when PJ got the ball, and I think as a result, that's why it was blocked.
Bay trying to sky for it, poked away. Shot clock at 2. Fuller has to throw it up. Rebound to Walker.
Yeah, this isn't over yet, Jordan. 5-point ball game.
Gilliam up top. Gilliam trying to work off a pair of screens. Here's Carl Nicholas spinning baseline. Carl Nicholas, silky smooth with the left hand.
Oh, that was beautiful. Nice little spin move with the left hand finish in the lane. Wow, impressive.
Back-to-back buckets by the Tigers have trimmed the Husky lead to just 3. And one more look, the footwork, very impressive. We mentioned long, lengthy athletes at the forward positions for Texas Southern.
And they're not going to go away quietly. They're only down 3 with 2:06 left. This is anybody's ball game. 2:06 left in the 2:06. How you like that, Joe?
Oh, there you go. Coming up next, it's more men's hoops as we head to Pullman. The Cougs tip off against UCSB up next on Pac-12 Washington, or download and stream live wherever you might be with Pac-12 Now. Huge game for both teams. If you're Washington, you have a chance to start the season 2-1, which is very welcomed after last year's difficulties. And for Texas Southern, you're 0-2. You're hungry for a win. You're on this road trip. As you know, winning makes every road trip that much more enjoyable.
And you know it's all about confidence in sports and in life. If Washington get this win, it's going to give them some confidence going into the next game, which I believe is against Wyoming here at Alaska Airlines Arena. But they're getting a real test here. Texas Southern is giving everything that they could ask for.
Washington to inbound. They lead by 3, 2:06 left. Davis trying to break the press, and Davis met by Henry. So Henry picking up his 4th foul. And that'll send Davis to the line, and that's a foul. If you're Johnny Jones, you don't want to foul him past half court right there. I know that you want to be aggressive in the press, but
you don't want that foul. Washington's been struggling from the free throw line, but you don't want to just give them points. Dejon Davis hasn't been having a good ball game, so I expect him to make these 2 free throws.
Davis 3 of 5 from the free throw line, make that 4 of 6 from the line tonight. Davis, Bay, and Brown all north of 10 points. Davis now sitting at 14, make it 15 points. But more importantly, makes it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, that's big free throws by the veteran. You know, I talked about it earlier. You got to be able to make your free throws down the stretch, especially if you're a guard, because the ball is going to be in your hands and you're going to get fouled.
Under 2 to play here at Alaska Airlines Arena. Washington trying to make it 2 straight wins in a row. Contested in the corner. Fuller getting a piece of that.
Yeah, that was absolutely great contest by P.J. Fuller, getting the block on Hopkins. Texas Southern was trying to get that ball to Jordan Nicholas in the paint. They went to the horn set and dove him to the basket.
Walker, the 3, ruled a long 2 from outside, so inches away from trimming the lead to just 2, but nonetheless, the bucket makes it a 1-possession game.
Yeah, but awareness, you have to know where you're at on the floor.
Davis catch and shoot, could have been a dagger. Foul, though, as Matthews was going up, so Washington the benefactor of some offensive rebounding.
Yeah, this is Texas Southern leading scorer, John Walker III. Thought it was a 3, but he had his foot on the line. And then on the other end, Jordan, I thought Dejon Davis maybe had shot that one a little bit too quick. You're still up 3. Try to milk some time off the clock. But fortunately, Emmett Matthews was able to get the offensive rebound.
Matthews, 4 points. Tough shooting night, 1 of 9 from the field, but he's been around the bucket. He's just been in the middle of all the action, and it pays off right there as he's able to get the first free throw.
Well, he's a scrappy guy. He's a guy you want out there when the game is on the line.
Second free throw is good for Matthews, so Washington making their free throws when it matters. 4 straight made free throws. Pushes the lead back up to 5, under 90 seconds left.
A big possession here for Texas Southern.
Here is Walker near midcourt, driving hard to the left, picks up his dribble. Walker poked away. 10 to shoot. Gilliam trying to work the two-man game, goes behind his back, feeds it. Here's Carl Nicholas up and over with the right, too strong, doesn't hit the rim. Shot clock winding down. Henry is unaware. That is a shot clock violation.
I think that shot clock needed to be reset. I think the ball did hit the rim, if I'm not mistaken. I think the ref's going to take a look at it. Johnny Jones is saying that it hit the basket.
Very important call here right now because we have a potential shot clock violation. Here's one more look.
Yeah, this is Nicholas here. The jump hook. Oh,
no, misses everything.
Yeah. So that's going to be Washington's ball, and that's going to be huge.
And that's really been the difference in the second half with the Washington defense. This is the third or fourth possession we've seen for Texas Southern where they've had to throw something up with the shot clock winding down. Their quality of look just has not been the same as it was in the first.
I agree with you 100%. I don't know what Mike Hopkins said at halftime, but the Huskers have stepped up their 2-3 zone here in the second half and made it extremely difficult for Texas Southern even to get off any good looks. In the first half, we saw them going high-low, getting easy buckets, but not here in the second half. And as a result, they hold a 67-62 lead with 57 seconds left. I expect this ball to get turned over and go to Washington.
I'm just impressed a Duck and a Husky can agree on something 100%.
Well, we got 57 seconds left. Thanks, my team. Oh, man. I've enjoyed it, Jordan. Thanks for having me on, man.
Hey, thanks for you welcomed me into your house. Here. Appreciate it.
You know, three sport athlete.
Fewer booze than I was used to. Fewer booze. But it's great. And
I used to hate playing down at you guys' place, man. Oh,
well,
wow.
It's a terrific rivalry.
Y'all had the worst fans in the league, man. Student section over the locker room. We're trying to have a team meeting and stomp it all on the
deny
floor.
that statement.
Oh, boy. I had to chase Anthony Taylor around early, then Terrell Brandon late.
Oh, you had to chase Anthony Taylor?
Oh, yeah.
You want me to talk to you about chasing Brandon Roy around? So they're going to check the clock and make sure it's correct before the shot clock violation. One more look. As you see, it's the 1 minute mark right there. And that should leave
like
a few
58.2
more ticks on the clock. Yeah.
Yep.
As we know, every 10th of a second matters. Just talked to Arizona State about that the other night.
Yeah, no kidding. Three-quarter court heartbreaker.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Bagley went for the steal, though. I mean, I just, you know, sometimes it ain't about athletic ability and all of that. It's smart.
It's hard to turn it off sometimes.
Yeah, you're right.
It's hard to turn it off
He
if you're
gambled
an aggressive
and
player.
it bit him in the butt. Yep. Now, we know if Washington does get this ball, Texas Southern is going to have to foul because Washington's up 5. So Huskies got to make their free throws down the stretch because this ball game isn't over. 5-point lead with 57 seconds left.
So it looks like it will be Washington ball. They're just trying to confirm how much time is left on the clock. Texas Southern will need to extend this game. The Tigers shooting 34% from the field, 0 of 7 from 3 in the second half. And despite their offensive rebounding, it's been the turnovers that have played Texas Southern. 20 turnovers.
Well, their leading scorer, John Walker III, hasn't really been able to get it going.
8
He
points
only has
for
8.
Walker.
Come in averaging 17. Nicholas has had a nice ball game. P.J. Henry, Hopkins. But they really needed him to step up offensively.
As we mentioned, Johnny Jones and Texas Southern. First 13 games on the road, they have decided upon shot clock violations. So go ahead and write that in your scorebook.
Yep.
58 seconds on the clock. Washington will inbound.
I expect Texas Southern to try to go for a steal, and if they can't get it, just to foul. They got to start fouling, sending it to the line. Hope they
Texas
can miss
Southern
some free throws.
trying to throw the trap, and here is Brown. He will control the rock, and Texas Southern looks...
Yeah, they're going to let a lot of time run off this clock. I don't know about this one, but that's why Johnny Jones is getting paid the big bucks.
Looks like they're going to try and force Washington to get a bucket here, try to score themselves, and then maybe extend the game after that. Down 2 possessions. You see under 35 seconds left. Shot clock at 5. Here's Brown, a chance to ice the game. Brown goes up and is fouled as he elevates. So Brown, who has been the leading scorer in this game, 18 points, 7 of 12 from the field, has a chance to make it a 3-possession game with under 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Johnny Jones gambled. I don't think it's going to pay off because I don't expect Terrell Brown to miss these free throws. If he hits them both, that'll put Washington up 7 with 30 seconds left to play. Nice game by P.J. Henry. I like his competitiveness. He scrapped all night. He's going to come out, and John Jones is going to come in.
So P.J. Henry fouls out. 10 points, 5 of 15 from the field, 3 assists. It's all about Terrell Brown. He's got 18 points and all 9 of Washington's assists tonight. Hits the first free throw.
Yeah, I don't expect him. He's a veteran player. This is his 6th year of college basketball. I don't expect him to miss these free throws. Plus, he's at home playing in front of his family and friends.
From nearby Garfield High School, make it 20 points for Brown.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it, Jordan.
Huskies up 7. Tigers will need everything to go perfect for him. Walker, the long 3, in and out. Offensive rebound. Wow. Carl Nicholas and a quick timeout for Texas Southern.
They refuse to stop hitting the offensive glass. They just annihilated Washington on the glass tonight. Good look by John Walker. Nice looking jump shot. Nicholas is there to clean it up. What do you think, partner? 18 seconds left. You're down 5.
Inbound, secure the basketball, get to the free throw line, hit your free throws.
Got to identify Washington's weaker free throw shooters. Try not to let Terrell Brown get it because we know he can make them.
Texas Southern with the most offensive rebounds since 2009-2010. They have 28 in this game.
Yeah, Mike Hopkins is going to see those guys hitting the glass in his sleep tonight. And I guarantee you in the video session tomorrow, if it doesn't take place tonight, they're going to talk about the offensive rebound in the Texas Southern, and then Washington's future opponents are going to look at that game tape and think that they can do the same thing.
The good news for Washington, you forced 21 turnovers for the Tigers, and you scored 27 points off those turnovers. And we saw that during that stretch, that 8-0 run earlier in the second half where Washington really pulled away. It was just the defense that extended Texas Southern, and they could never really get comfortable after that point.
Washington didn't press as much in the second half as they did in the first, but I thought their zone just did an excellent job. And like you said, didn't give Texas Southern anything easy. They struggled from the field shooting the ball all night. The only thing that was saving them was their offensive rebound, as we saw right there on that last play.
18 seconds left to go. Huskies up by 5.
Yeah, go for the steal and then foul immediately.
Comes down to whether or not Washington can protect the basketball, secure it, and knock down their free throws to close this out and move on to 2-1. Fuller catches it in the corner. Kicks it back to Brown, but I believe Fuller was fouled before he got it back to Brown.
Yeah, I think it's going to be P.J. going to the free throw line.
Foul is on number 11, Jordan Gilliam, his 4th personal.
4th foul on Gilliam. That'll send Fuller to the line. Fuller has not shot a free throw yet tonight.
He's 1 for 2 on the season. Oh, boy. He misses the first one.
Don't forget, coming up next, more basketball from Pullman. UCSB taking on the Cougars. 7 teams in the conference in action tonight.
Yeah, he hits the second one. That should seal it right there. It's a 6-point lead.
Gilliam has to hoist up the 3. No good. Huskies will just let the ball bounce around. Walker blocked but fouled by Bay in the corner with 5.9 seconds left to go.
Yeah, Jamal Bay is the senior. He should know better than that. Just let him shoot that ball. Even if he makes it, the clock is running. Yeah, you don't want to stop the clock.
Officials are going to review this to see if it was a 2 or a 3. So there's always teachable moments, regardless of what point in the game you're at.
If this is a 3 and he makes all 3, then all of a sudden it's a 3-point game with 6 seconds left. They will still have a chance.
As a reminder, officials reviewing right now whether it was a 2 or 3. Saw Walker hit a long 2 earlier.
Yeah, it looks like his foot is on the line to me.
One more look at the right side of your screen, and that looks like it's on the line.
Yeah, it looked like his toe is on the line.
I think he's a size 16. If he was about a size 14, would have had a 3 earlier and 3 free throws right here.
If he was a size 12 like Patrick Ewing, it would have been a 3.
Patrick Ewing was a size 12?
A size 12 and 7 foot, man. How
Somehow
about
the
that?
engineering doesn't line up with that, where
Big
center
Patrick
balance might
with
be
the little
off.
man's feet.
The good thing is you can go find those in a store. 12,
man.
16, good luck.
I'm a 12.
at the Nordstrom rack, too. You know exactly where to go, right?
Oh, yeah. I see him in there every now and then.
Got a trip coming up. Going to hit the rack up.
A nice looking pair of Magnanis put in the size 16. I'm like, oh, man, this is terrible.
Oh, the struggle is real. Well, it looks like Washington in full control here. Still has to dot a few I's, cross some T's here. We've seen crazier things happen in college basketball.
Yeah, you just talked about it, Arizona State. You know, lose on a three-quarter court shot.
And that's the worst, too, when you're up 2.
Oh, man.
I feel like you comfortably have the game under control.
You can never relax.
So it is ruled a 2-point shot. As we saw in that angle, the toe was on the line. So Walker to the line to shoot 2. He's got 8 points. First one is good.
He's really got a nice looking shot. It's too bad they couldn't get him more involved offensively. I got to give Washington credit. They did an excellent job of taking him out of the ball game. He misses the second. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Knocked out of bounds by Carl Nicholas, but with 1.9. Actually, they're going to get a foul on 15, Justin Hopkins.
Oh, really? I thought they called the ball out of bounds on the kick.
That'll send Fuller to the free throw line.
Well,
Sitting
Jordan,
at
you got to think for Texas Southern that this is going to help them when they get into their league play.
Yep.
You know, they lost pretty good to Oregon, lost by a lot to St. Mary's, but they were in this ball game tonight. A really competitive game.
For Texas Southern, it feels like they just need to take better care of the basketball.
Exactly.
They cut those turnovers in half and end the night with 11 or 12 turnovers. It's a completely different ball game. But credit Washington.
Yeah.
That press we saw forced 5 turnovers alone in the first half. Fuller hits the second, and that'll do it. So the Huskies improve to 2-1 by knocking off Texas Southern. 2 wins in a row here in Alaska Airlines Arena. Mike Hopkins and crew outlast Texas Southern. For Eldridge Rickasner, I'm Jordan Kent saying good night from